Hey you guys, welcome back. It is cold today, and we got a frost last night, and the frost took the tops of these dahlias and just made a little bit of a mess of them. So because of the first frost, I'm going to be digging these guys up. I don't usually dig them up before frost. Why bother? The other tropicals have been long since inside, but this one here, a light kissing of frost is the telltale sign that you need to bring those in. As you can see, some of the flowers still look pretty good. Got these ones over here. They're looking a little bit worse for wear. I don't think I'm getting that in frame, but these orange ones are definitely the nicer ones that I've had this year. So they didn't turn out to be the color that they were supposed to be. They were supposed to be orange with white tips. But I'll take it. These are kind of pretty, and they're a good size. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to chop all of them down, and then we're going to see what we have for root structures. And then we're going to take a garden fork. This is actually the best tool to use when digging up dahlias, because you don't really want to slice the roots like you would with a shovel. This would just slice through the roots. The roots are what is going to carry the plant through the winter, and the less you have of those, the less chance that you're going to have a nice healthy plant next year. Not going to say that you will kill the plant, but it might not do so well for storage. So I'm going to start with this, but if this frustrates me, I'll move to this. So yeah. Anyway, another topic. Somebody was asking me about the gardening gloves that I use or recommend. These ones are called Wonder Grip, and I really like these. I've had these pretty well all season, all summer. I don't use them here so much. I use them at the community garden plot when I'm doing the vegetable gardening, pulling weeds and whatnot. And at home I don't use gloves very often because basically I'm just trimming. I'm not doing a lot of weeding. But I like these ones. They are like a knit glove, and there's no real seams along the sides, and they're dipped in that that rubbery kind of grippy stuff. So the reason why I have the knit ones and not the ones that have a seam, the cheaper ones that have the seams along, is you find that when these gloves get wet, the seams are the first things to rip. So if you don't have any seams, the glove will probably last a little bit longer, especially if you get them wet. And you're gardening, so you're going to be gardening in damp soil a lot. So anyway, I do recommend these ones. Again, they're called Wonder Grip, and they're nicely nimble, and these are size large. I like the colors too. They had a lot of nice colors: greens, pinks, purples. Purple was my favorite, so that's what I got. So yeah, that was just a little side note on this video as to what glove I like to wear. So I'm going to get my pruners here, and we're just going to trim these all down, and we'll come back and check out the root structures. Okay, so we're all cut down now, and as you can see here, I've left about 8 or 10 inches of stalk here. It really resembles bamboo, doesn't it? It's even hollow in the center. So I left about 8 or 10 inches. This is mostly because I want to have something to grab onto when I try to rip them out of the ground. So yeah, now let's grab the fork and see if we can't lift these up and damage the roots as little as possible. Fingers crossed. Good luck. I don't know if I'll be able to do it without a shovel. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, so this one here is the orange one, and let's try to. It's amazing how small of a space this actually takes up, and how big the plant actually got. It's very amazing. So this is a clay soil. Oh, it's lifting really easy. So we're going to knock off as much of the soil as we can. And then we'll be able to see the root structure. I'm just going to move this off to the side. We'll take more of the soil off a little bit closer up in just a few minutes. Now let's try the one that they call Smarty. This is the pink and white one. This one is looking like it's going to give me a little bit harder time. This one here has some beautiful roots, as you can see. Wow, that's stunning. And this one here is the one like a cactus dahlia, and it was burgundy, dark purple. Save the tag here. Don't want to lose that. And this is why we left a little bit of the stem, so we have a handle. This one here looks like there's been some rot. This plant here wasn't doing so well near the end. You can save any little bit of the root system, and it potentially could grow for next year. So save everything. Let me put this with the others. So we have a nice tray of dahlias here. Let's come in a little bit closer and let's take the soil off, and we're going to see what the roots look like. And I'm just going to leave these on this tray for a couple of days just to let them dry out, and then I'm not sure whether I'll put them in a paper bag and put the fungicide powder on there, antifungal powder. I'll probably use that. Last year I put them in a paper bag and a little bit of peat moss to absorb any moisture, but let's clean these off and see what they look like. So here we go. This is the burgundy one. This one's called Karma Chalk. I think chocolate for it's like a purpley brown. We're just going to remove as much of the soil as we can. Try not to damage the plant at all. Look at that. The roots are really beautiful. There's a worm in there. Look at that. Glad I'm wearing gloves. So you want to get as much of the soil out of there as you can. You don't want to risk there being any infection or fungal problem or anything like that. And this looks really, really good. So then, and again, we want to save all the little bits and bobs that are there. All of these we're going to save. And I have this insecticide, fungicide. This is a brand by Wilson's, and it's good for vegetables and fruit and roses and all kinds of other ornamentals. Basically, you want to spray this on. It's a powder. You want to dust it on, and you also want to be downwind. This is not good to breathe in. So if you have a face mask or something, it's probably a good idea. I usually use a paper bag and shake it all about in there. Make it do the hokey pokey. You want to cover the roots in this. I don't know whether you can see, but it's starting to snow here. All right. Can you hear it? I hope you can see it. I didn't think it was that cold outside. So anyway, this here is going to be ready to store. Like I said, I usually store it in a paper bag, but I can't seem to find any paper bags that are big enough to store these, so I'm going to leave them just sitting out like this in the air, and hopefully nothing happens. If I find some larger paper bags, I will stick them in there. You don't really want to use plastic. If you use plastic, it can bring in the humidity and then cause rot. Even though you've used this fungicide and insecticide, you can still have problems if you use plastic. Too much humidity is not a good thing. And if you do have no other choice but a plastic bag, make sure to leave it open and use some peat moss to absorb any humidity or moisture. that might be in the bulbs. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned because we will be planting these again in the springtime, and let's do an update in the early spring to see what they're looking like, and also perhaps a planting video indoors so we get a jump on the season. So anyway, stay tuned for more updates. Join the Plants and Things What's Growing page if you haven't already. Also the regular Plants and Things Facebook page. A lot of fun stuff is going on there. A lot of great people. And yeah, until next time, please like and subscribe.
It's doing really, really well, and I don't know why it's doing so well. Don't ask me. It's got all kinds of beautiful pictures. It did beautifully this summer. It was covered in spider webs and all that jazz. I don't know whether spider webs are good, but